with a primed face, I'm going in with foundation. This is L'Oreal Pro Glow foundation, Infallible Pro Glow, in the lighter shade that I had. I obviously don't have any like body paints or, you know, water activated paint, so we have to just do with whatever I have. So I'm going in with the Morphe 439 M439 brush, just kind of buffing this on the skin, and I'm going to go in with a couple of layers just to get as full coverage as possible, because, you know, skeletons don't have like blemishes, guys. I'm taking the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer in the shade, I believe this is like Neutral 9, Neutral Light 9, I believe. I like this concealer for this kind of look. For every day, I don't really grab it. I tend to use the Shape Tape more, but this was like a little bit more fair than the Shape Tape, so I decided to use it for this look, and it worked out really, really well. So we're just highlighting in all the usual areas, high points of face. Gonna help out with some sculpting later on. Then I'm going to take that same M439 brush and just buff everything out. It's really important to hit the eyelids, because we are going to go in with a serious smoky eye in a minute, so yeah. Taking my damp beauty sponge, the Real Technique sponge, I'm just going to stipple and remove any excess foundation or concealer, and just make sure everything is super duper blended. And then I'm going to set it with powder, which is something I never do. I'm using the RCMA No Color Translucent Powder. This was a little weird for me to do, because normally I try to have as grease ball dewy skin as possible because I'm so dry, but you know, dry as a bone. That's what we're going for today. Now here I'm taking just a Urban Decay eyeliner pencil. This is like the matte velvet pencil, and I'm just mapping everything out first. We're not really going to do much with blending or, you know, contouring right now, but I'm just mapping out to see where exactly everything where do I want it to go, and how do I want it to look. So I took this pencil and just started tracing from the top of my ear down to like my normal area that I contour, but towards the nose, you're just going to dip down a little bit more. This creates more sallowness in your cheekbones. I'm also going to start tracing out my nose a little bit. You'll see later on, like, I definitely refine everything a little bit more with different products, but for the most part, I'm using just pencil and eyeshadow, because cream products on my dry skin are so hard to blend. I'm also drawing this line from like the base of my nose to the top of my lip. And then I ended up like blanking out my lips a little bit with some powder. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of shaping out my hairline a little bit more to be a little bit more contoured. You'll see why I ended up really thinking this was a big mistake, but you'll see why later on in the video. With the same eyeliner, I'm just going to tightline and line my waterline just to start off with that super smoky eye. And then we're going to go in and just fill in the bottom part of my lid with the black liner. This is going to create a nice dark smoky base for the rest of the eye look. So we're going to take this and we're just going to go from lash to maybe just below the crease. And with a hooded eye, like this seems like with my eyes closed, it doesn't really seem like I'm covering most of my lid, but because of the hooded eye, it's actually a lot more than you would think. Going in with the Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics palette, this is what we're going to use for the entire look. We're going to go in, can I open it? Hello. Oh. Yes. We're going to go in with this black color right here, and we're just going to pat this with a regular shaper brush all over the eyeliner that we just laid down. Now we're going in with this kind of cooler toned, like light brown, with just a fluffy dome brush. We're going to blend out the crease a little bit. This is where you'll see I do a lot of going back and forth with the eyes and blending out. And that's kind of like what you have to do with a smoky eye. There's always like that ugly phase to a smoky eye, but you just have to keep like pushing away and just like, you know, don't give up. Now we're going to go in with this little bit of a darker medium brown, and we're just going to take another brush. Hello? What am I doing? There we go. And concentrating this just kind of on the top part of our crease. Trying to create as round of a shape as possible. We're going to repeat the same process on the lower lash line with that black, then the two lighter and medium browns. And we're going to do like 360 around the eye. And then I'm just taking a large fluffy brush and blending everything out. Taking a fluffy dome brush, I'm going to start blending out the contour with just a gray shadow from the Naked palette. Just start gradually going down. I didn't want to bring the contour too low to where it hits that jawline that I carved out. So I was really careful to make sure I could do that. And then I started blending out the hairline, and you can see like this just became like a disaster. And I ended up, you know, in the end putting a hat on just to cover it up a little bit because I didn't like the way it came out. But you're basically going to repeat this process blending out with the gray shadow just along the jawline, contour, forehead, you know. I covered up my jawline like this because I really don't have a strong jawline. I don't really have very strong features, so, you know, you have to fake it till you make it. So just fake it all the time. Then I went in with a liner brush and the black shadow from the palette, and I just redrew a lot of the lines just to kind of sharpen them up and then go and blend them out again. You know, it's just a process of blending. Skeletons don't really care about blending, but I do, so. Then I went in with my damp beauty sponge and just like went ham with the gray shadow all down my neck and chin, and just, you know, I basically wanted to look like I weighed 90 pounds. So that's what's happening here. And then going back in with more shadow. Yes. Then I went in with like that cool tone brown with the sponge and just added that. Now I'm going in with Urban Decay's Razor Sharp Liquid Liner in Perversion. It's like the black color. It's super, super, super liquidy and dark. So I went in and started filling in my nose with this. The applicator is super, super fine, so it took forever. But, you know, you don't have to see it all, so. And I made the top, like those two spikes that go up towards the bridge of my nose, I made them a little uneven, just to give a little character. And then I kind of just filled in all the way down the bottom of my nostrils, and then started filling in the vertical lines along my mouth. So this was kind of easy, and I tried to do it where it looked a little like undone. I didn't want to look like a super neat skeleton. I just kind of wanted to make it look a little messy. So I just did like twin vertical lines all down the mouth there, and then extending outwards toward the contour. You're going to connect them with a straight line as well. And then I go in with the liner and fill the inside of my lip just to give a little bit more depth and dimension there. Now this kind of bit me in the ass later on. It didn't dry fast enough, so it looked super messy. A little bit more messy than I really wanted to. As you can see, it just was not working out like I wanted to, but I didn't want to work with frames.